Over at Marvel Comics, the publisher just dropped their most recent round of Marvel Comics solicits for the month of April. There's a lot of fascinating launches coming this month, including several intriguing One World Under Doom tie-ins and a brand new era of the Amazing Spider-Man. My name is Arako Braddock, and today let's go ahead and preview some of my top 5 favorite comic books coming out from Marvel over the month of April. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado here, I want to kick off with our very first comic book issue. Of course, this is none other than the brand new era of Amazing Spider-Man, written by Joe Kelly, featuring artwork from both John Romita Jr. and Pepe Larraz. It's so wonderful to see the Krakoan founding artist Pepe Larraz's profile boosted at Marvel, really launching this massive mainstream comic book. Also, I've been such a big fan of Joe Kelly's throughout the years, especially in terms of his brand new day run over on The Amazing Spider-Man. I think it's going to be an absolute blast to see what he's able to bring over to his own singular volume of the series here. As you can see, not only from the solicit, but the beautiful cover that we have up on the screen, there's a ton of really interesting plot threads dangling in this comic book. As Joe Kelly is returning to the Spider-Man villain of the Rhino, which we can also see in some preview pages coming in from Marvel as well. In the meantime here, we still have a goblin-free Norman Osborn lingering in the background. I'm really intrigued at what Peter and Norman's relationship is going to look like moving forward, especially as the Eight Deaths of Spider-Man arc has really shrouded that plot thread in so much secrecy. Also, a lot of the villains over on this cover are also quite interesting here, as we have the Hobgoblin staying in Marvel Comics, alongside key figures like the Black Cat. I was also incredibly thrilled to see the character of Ashley Kafka returning to Peter Parker's Rogues Gallery as well. It seems like there's a ton of plate spinning in the background of this brand new Amazing Spider-Man run, and I'm still really excited about what this creative team is going to bring here in the post-Zeb Wells era of the series. Next up, we have Superior Avengers. This is a One World Under Doom tie-in that also looks incredibly intriguing, boasting a really fascinating creative team connected to the X-Men's Krakoa line as well. This one is written by Steve Fawkes, who also wrote just the tremendous Dead X-Men and Dark X-Men series previously at the publisher. Plus, we have some artwork from Luca Maresca coming off of the incredible Avengers Forever, all packed within this beautiful RB Silva cover as well. This one seems quite interesting, as the son of Doctor Doom, Christoph Venard, has really created and assembled a brand new group of villains masquerading as Avengers characters. We have some really intriguing characters over in the lineup, including figures like Onslaught, Malekith, Killmonger, Ghost, Dr. Octopus, and Abomination. It's always intriguing to see Marvel really shake up the status quo of some of their main series and just create another really interesting villain dynamic juxtaposed against the Avengers here. So really thrilled to see how Steve Fawkes really embarks on this opportunity and takes full advantage of what the Avengers and Doom franchises have to offer when they're collided. Also, I think it's really, really awesome that Marvel has continued the branding of Superior, playing off of the Superior Spider-Man series to really showcase and indicate that there's a villain involved in this naming scheme. Okay, next up, I want to go ahead and switch gears a little bit and talk about Marvel's latest Phoenix series. This one has been an absolute blast, as we've gotten to see Jean Grey respond to so many threats over in outer space. The 10th issue of the series here is still written by Stephanie Phillips, featuring artwork from Alessandro Miracolo, according to Marvel Comics solicits. It looks like this comic book is trying to pit the character of Adani against Phoenix. The figures have had some bad blood since nearly the first issue of the series. It's been really fascinating to watch Phoenix and Adani go up against each other in so many different contexts across the Phoenix comic book. In the last issue of the main Phoenix series, Adani was actually able to manifest the power of Phoenix and seemingly wield it against Jean Grey. So I am really intrigued to see where this is going next, and how some of Phoenix's battles over with figures like Thanos, wielding the Warlock Eye, as well as the Black Order, is going to play out across several issues to come here. I think so much of the plotting in this core Phoenix series has really implemented a lot of really fascinating Marvel cosmic continuity. I really hope Stephanie Phillips continues down this direction and gets as creative as the main Phoenix series as she possibly can in the very near future. Next up, we have another really creative and bold X-Men ancillary series with X-Force issue 10. This is a massive anniversary issue featuring multiple stories here. The first one is coming in from our usual creative team of Jeffrey Thorne as well as Marcus Toe. The plotting on X Force so far has been incredibly ambitious, as we've gotten to see the character of Forge wield this device called the Analog. It looks like in this issue, we're going to peel back the curtain a little bit and get some answers behind the solution of the main series as well. There's a ton of intrigue baked into the narrative here, and I think X Force is really on the right direction moving forward. Also, let's briefly talk about that ancillary story in the back of the issue. This one is coming in from Fabian Nicieza, and we have artwork coming in from Edgar Salazar. By the way, our cover here is illustrated from Steven Segovia. So we have a more retro take over on X-Force, sort of colliding and juxtaposed with our modern take from the Ashes era of Marvel Comics over with Forge. I'm excited to see how these two eras collide here in the very near future as we get closer to this really special X-Force comic book. Exceptional X-Men is a sort of blast from the past in their 8th issue here. This one, of course, still written by Eve Ewing, featuring artwork from Carmen Carnero. One thing I've really wanted to see across the new From the Ashes line over for the X-Men is the reappearance of the villainous Mr. Sinister. Mr. Sinister was just the driving plot over in Krakoa with comic books like Sins of Sinister, and I've really missed Nathaniel Essex over the past couple months. I hope he has something really dark and sinister in mind for a lot of the X-Men. And I'm also liking how this comic book in Solicit seemingly teases the fact that Axo has a mysterious relationship as well with the core X-Men rogue. So that was actually our 5th comic book, but I always like to include a special bonus issue here. And of course, we can't leave out the really important issue 5 of All New Venom. This one seemingly introduces the identity behind this figure who's been teased in so many past issues here. We have our usual creative team of Al Ewing on the writing and Carlos Gomez on the artwork. Plus, we have a cover here over from Adam Kubert. Recently, Dylan Brock lost his symbiote, and it's really been toured across the Marvel Universe by a mysterious figure that this issue has just teased relentlessly here. Just to give you a quick recap, some of our candidates for the all-new Venom include figures like Luke Cage, Robbie Robertson, Madame Mask, and Rick Jones. Recently, Luke Cage was taken off the board, but everybody else here is fair play, and I'm really intrigued to see who's actually the identity behind this brand new character. I always like it when Marvel teases the mysterious identity of a brand new, Marvel Comics character, especially taking on a sort of legacy symbiote here. I think it's been really refreshing to see that in just a couple months here, Al Ewing is finally ready to show some of his cards and reveal the identity of this mysterious new character. So as you can see here, it looks like the House of Ideas is still on fire over in April. I'm still intrigued to check out the mysterious identity of the all-new Venom character. I'm also really curious to see if Steve Fox is going to be able to take on the superior Avengers comic book and really showcase that sense of quality that he's brought to nearly every miniseries so far to date. Also, it's really exciting to see Joe Kelly take on the Amazing Spider-Man in its very next era. But I want to know from you, out of all these comic books, which one are you the most excited for? And what do you want me to go ahead and cover next? Thank you so much for checking out our top 5 comic books over in April from Marvel, and we'll be back really soon to see whatever the publisher is going to produce next.